Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video, we return to the monster-infested world of Dark Deception with a brand new theory. This video will pose two questions, and I hope to answer both. These questions are, what is the story behind Monsters and Mortals? And secondly, how are all these random horror game franchises appearing within Malak's nightmare portals? First, allow me to quickly catch you up to speed on both the basic lore of Dark Deception and its multiplayer spin-off, Monsters and Mortals, for which the discussion of this video is to be based upon. Dark Deception is a maze runner horror game set in a limbo-esque universe between the realm of the living and the realm of the dead. Those who find themselves in this limbo seem to be lost souls, desperately seeking to atone for their sins, and are offered a way to alter their shady history by helping a sorceress known as Beers. This witch-like character was once very much human. She brokered a deal with a demon named Malak, 7 years of success and fame in return for her soul in the afterlife. However, it seems Beers found a loophole in this deal. She discovered an ancient Chinese artifact known as the Riddle of Heaven, a ring altar which, according to legend, could harness Malak's dark power and transfer control of it over to a human host. When Malak came for Beers, she seems to have used this ring altar to hold him at bay, now existing in a floating ballroom, perhaps the last location she appeared in while on Earth. From this ballroom, a series of nightmare portals set up by Malak are found. These were set up to prevent both Beers and anyone she employs to aid her from obtaining the remaining pieces of the ring altar. These would be required to complete the ritual and remove Malak from power. Many fallen souls have awoken in this cursed realm, summoned after death by Beers, and offered a deal. Help her repair the ring altar, and in return, she will use her powers to right the wrongs of their misguided life.
Oh, another one. How nice to have some company again. I know everything you've got hidden in that brain of yours. I know all the terrible things you've done. Fear not, love. You've got potential. I see it in you. And I can help change your fate. Complete the ring, and you can use Malak's power to fulfill your darkest desires. Or so the legend goes.
The problem is that each of these nightmare portals contains a host of bloodthirsty demonic monsters, which aren't too keen to see the restoration of a ring altar. Probably because they fear Malak's wrath if they fail him. The shards we collect are fragments of those who have fallen while trying to complete this task. As you can see, many have tried and failed in their quest for soul salvation. This brings us to Monsters and Mortals. On the surface, this is simply a multiplayer variant of Dark Deception, and perhaps that's all it was ever meant to be. However, on this channel we enjoy any excuse for a good theory or analysis, so let's dig into the possible story behind it. Monsters and Mortals contains several different game modes. In Shard Mayhem we play as monsters facing off against one another as they battle to collect the highest number of soul shards. Maze Escape sees 3 mortals banding together, collecting enough soul shards to open the escape portal, all while being hunted by a deadly monster. And finally, Soul Collection, where 4 mortals compete against one another to escape Malak as he proceeds to periodically transform the player with the lowest shard count into one of his wretched creatures. So with the basic premise of both games and their narrative history now covered, let's turn our attention to today's theory as we tie everything together. If we consider Monsters and Mortals as a natural continuation of events from the original story of Dark Deception, or perhaps even something running in parallel with them, then we already have a good basis for its narrative. Beers is using humans to collect up soul shards to aid her in her quest to repair the ring altar and harness Malak's power, freeing his grasp over her soul and saving her from eternal damnation. While Malak is desperate to stop these humans and so has his monster army hunting them at every turn. He even shows up himself at times to lend a hand. From the mode Soul Collection, it seems evident that these monsters were once human themselves, and that being transformed into one of them is the fate awaiting Beas if Malak ever manages to collect what he is owed. So no wonder she's so persistent to defy him. This also explains why the monsters so fervently pursue the mortal players. Malak has likely offered a deal to free their soul if they succeed, but by the same token, harshly punish them if they fail. With this information in mind, we can now explain the 3 game modes found in Dark Deception Monsters and Mortals. Shard Mayhem is a strange mode as it suggests that monsters aren't always working together, but instead trying to collect up soul shards for themselves. This backs up the claim that Malak may have promised them a special reward for successfully completing a task, in this case retrieving the fallen souls of mortals foolish enough to enter his nightmare realm. The monster who succeeds being promised clemency, while the others damnation. Whether or not Malak would actually fulfill this promise is a question for another day, but my guess is no. Maze Escape reflects a team of mortals working together to get the job done quickly. It shows us that Beas may have sometimes called upon groups of people at any one time, hoping that a higher body count could speed up her chances of success. Soul Collection is a mode which tells the story of a team of humans who aren't banding together, but rather act selfishly for their own best interests, trying desperately to collect up enough soul shards to escape Malak's clutches as he transforms each who has fallen behind into a monster for his army. In this regard, Soul Collection is the closest to a mode resembling the single-player story of the original Dark Deception, where protagonist Doug Hauser acts as a one-man band. These game modes now all make sense within the context of the Dark Deception universe, but one more burning question remains, one I promised to touch on at the beginning of this video. You see, there are a number of crossover DLC packs available for Monsters and Mortals, and these bring in monsters and locations from other horror game franchises. So how does this make sense and work within Malak's nightmare realm? To answer this, we must remember a very important line from Malak, first spoken during the story of Dark Deception.
I'm coming to collect what is owed, and I'm bringing your worst nightmares with me.
Malak confirms that he is bringing in the mortals' worst nightmares with him. This tells us that the nightmare portals we find throughout the Dark Deception universe are in fact a construct of a mortal mind rather than something Malak has created all by himself. It seems Malak uses the subconscious of his human victims against them, extracting their greatest fears and anything remotely creepy they have locked away inside their brain to create ghoulish worlds full of terrifying monsters, all controlled by the fallen souls of his prior victims. When looking at why a game such as Silent Hill or Monstrum appears within this world, then the answer is quite simple. These are constructs of a mortal mind. Once, many years ago, these constructs used to create Malak's nightmare portals would have come from movies, before that, literature, and before that, folklore and legend. Now in the digital age, Malak has access to a massive pool of fictional terrors, all ripe for use within his twisted hellscape. And with the inclusion of content creators including yours truly, it seems as though this gaming influence is indeed canon. It also seems as though, in his bid to prevent Beas from succeeding in her mission to dethrone him, Malak has resorted to playing dirty, bringing in those with a knowledge of horror to add to his ever-growing arsenal of monsters. Of course, we must also address why mortals from these horror games are joining the battle too. Surely Malak wouldn't wish to introduce additional reinforcement for Beas. This question can be answered if we recall a line spoken by Beas during Dark Deception Chapter 1, where she states she knows of everything Doug has hidden away in his mind. So it appears as Beas grows more powerful, she too has the ability to assemble character constructs from the minds of these mortals. Malak creates monsters and Beas mortals, all from the same memory pool. We see her tapping into the ring altar to provide Doug with his special abilities, so this theory does hold water. With that said, this is only a theory for a game which doesn't really, as of now, contain any kind of concrete story information whatsoever. It is fun to open up a conversation about such possibilities though, so let me know your thoughts on the story of Dark Deception Monsters and Mortals in the comments below. Leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.